I've come out today to do something that I've been doing for the best part of 40 or 50 years, and that's going for a walk or a bike ride or a climb with a view to writing it up for a magazine article. You know, in the past I've been a magazine editor, and I've written for lots of different kinds of magazines, and even today I'm still writing a monthly column in a magazine. So what I do before I can even start writing about it, I've got to go and do the walk or the bike ride, and today I'm doing a bike ride. A bike ride is going to take me into some pretty remote countryside, and I'm looking forward to it, so I hope you can join me. My route begins here near Dromie, and that's quite close to Cairngorms in the Cairngorms National Park. The route leaves the road at Tromie Bridge, and the rest of the route is off-road, about 22 miles of it. Follow the signs up Glen Tromie to a junction of paths as we enter Gaik Estate. Then it's a long remote ride over the watershed into Glen Feshie, and a variety of tracks and trails that'll bring you back to Dromie. I'm up near the head of Glen Tromie at Brand Cottage. An old cottage which is just used as an estate store these days. And it's been a good ride up here. I've stopped just really to take some notes, a few photographs if you like, to remind me of various features that I'm passing through. It's something I do when I'm going to write up a cycle ride or a walk for a magazine. And I've been writing these magazine articles for a long time now, and I suppose you could say that I'm a bit of a magazine freak in many ways. All my work in life has been evolved around either writing for magazines or editing magazines. So now that I'm in my dotage, it's a habit that's quite hard to give up. But anyway, this particular ride round Glen Tromie over into Glen Feshie will probably feature in a monthly column that I write in the Scots magazine, which is it's a great magazine. It's the world's oldest consumer magazine, and if you go into the Mitchell Library in Glasgow, you'll find a copy of the Scots magazine that reported on the Battle of Culloden in 1745, 46. So yeah, a pretty old magazine, and it's I feel quite honoured to write for it. I edited magazines for best part of 40 years. I started off with my own magazine, which I called Footloose, although our bank manager tended to refer to it as Screwloose. But we did that. I did that for 4 or 5 years or something, and now I went to be deputy editor of a magazine called Climber and Rambler magazine, and after a while became editor of that magazine, and very quickly changed the name from Climber and Rambler to simply Climber magazine. There was a feeling at the time that Climber and Rambler felt more like a rose growers magazine than a climbing magazine, so we changed it to Climber magazine. I did that for 5 years and then became editor of the Great Outdoors magazine, which I edited for 20 years. And then when I finished that, I started another magazine called Scottish Walks, and then Scottish Cycling, and then we joined the two together and became Scottish Walks and Cycling. And I did that for until fairly recently, and now all I do is write this column for the Scots magazine. So I'm really kind of invested in magazines and magazine publishing. So I found it quite interesting when the nice people at a company called Readly contacted me and showed me their kind of digital magazine forum, which is absolutely fascinating. They've got about, I think I'm correct in saying, about 7,000 titles, which for a monthly fee you can hook into, and you get an app on your iPhone or your tablet, and you can download as many magazines as you like for that monthly fee. It's absolutely fantastic. Let me show you it. First thing you have to do is download the Readly app from the App Store or wherever you get your apps from, and download it onto your smartphone, or if you prefer, your tablet, or both indeed. So what I'm going to do now is just show you some of the features. So I'm going to come round the back of the camera and show you some of these features that that Readly offer. So here we are. Here is the Readly app and my home page. I've put it on the tablet because it's just a bit bigger. You can see it. There's a bit of glare in here from the light. I apologise for that. But here you can see we're on my home page. We've got articles which you can store, magazines, and in fact newspapers. I haven't mentioned it. You can get a whole host of newspapers too. So here we are. So to go on to your favourite magazine, let's take my Scots magazine. It's just a question of tapping it, and then you get, here we are. We've got loads of magazines going way back months and months. So let's take the most recent one. And funnily enough, it opens up right at my article in the Scots magazine. There we are. There's the ugly mug in the corner. One of the nice things about viewing magazines like this is if you tap the bottom, you can kind of just scroll through all the pages in the magazine and choose the one that you want to actually read. It's quite a handy feature and saves quite a lot of time. And to get out of that, you just double tap, and it's gone again. So that's the Scots magazine. What else have we got here? VW Bus. This is one of my favourite campervan magazines. Let's go into the latest issue, and here we are, and you can see the same thing. It's easy to read. You can read it that way, or you can read it vertically, and it's easy enough to read because all you have to do is widen, enlarge the script, and you can do that quite easily. So there we are, lots of various features on the app that allows you to read your magazine, collect your magazine, store particular features that you want to keep, and all in all, I think it's a pretty useful app to have, especially like me if you're spending a lot of time in a campervan and the last thing you want to do is have piles of magazines stored up in a campervan where minimalism is important. So everything on your tablet or on your iPhone, and I think that's absolutely terrific. Readly are offering viewers of this channel a pretty good deal. 2 months absolutely free, 2 months of downloads
and you can browse down as many, download and browse as many magazines as you want in that time. 2 months free, and you can pull out at any time you want. After that, it's £9.99 a month, and as I say, for that sort of money, you get as many magazines as you can possibly get time to read. There's all sorts of magazines. Great thing here too is it's not only UK based magazines, there's quite a lot of overseas magazines, and there's 2 or 3 magazines from the USA that I'm quite interested in. An outdoor magazine, a cycling magazine, a kind of boondocking, RVing, motorhome type magazine, which is quite fun. I also have got, because I'm going to Germany later on this year, I've got a couple of German outdoor magazines downloaded here, and there's Australian magazines and French magazines. So it's a fantastic resource. It's a fantastic way to read, collect and browse magazines.
I've put the link to Ridley in the description down below. Well, we're at a kind of junction of the ways here. If you go right, I'll take you up to Gaiac Pass, just past the gamekeeper's house here. You can hear the dogs barking. Gaiac is what the old Scots writer Seton Gordon once described as the most supernatural place in Scotland. And there's been all sorts of stories about Gaiac. In 1956, Colonel Jimmy Dennis was deer stalking in the area when he saw a small figure dressed in green. When he mentioned this to one of the local keepers, he was told he'd seen the sprite o' Gaiac. And there's been all sorts of stories of the Alan Sea, the fairies. But probably the best known story is that of the black officer John McPherson of Ballachrone, who was a recruiting officer for the army, and it's said that he had kind of wily ways of getting men to join up. I don't think he was a terribly popular character in the area. Ballachrone is between Kingussie and Newtonmore, and he got this reputation of being in league with the devil. And that came to a head when he came up here to Gaiac with some companions, and they stayed in a bothy. And during the night there was a huge avalanche, and the bothy was engulfed, and the black officer and his companions were all killed. They were found sometime later, and a lot of people put that down to the work of the devil. So that's Gaiac, but I'm not going to Gaiac today. Not that I'm scared or anything like that, but I'm going towards Glen Feshie, so I'm going left on a new track that's been built. I've been up this path many times, and I've walked over to Glen Feshie, over the high pass into Glen Feshie before, but the path only went a certain distance, and then it kind of evaporated, it disappeared, and you had to walk over some pretty rough country to climb up and then drop down to Glen Feshie. But the estate has actually built a new bulldozed path, and well, who am I to turn my nose up at a new bulldozed path when I've got my e-bike? See you later. Well, this is pretty remote country that we're in now. The hill behind me here, the Minigig Pass, or the Minigig Trail, goes right over that hill and then makes its way down towards Blair Athol. It said it was built, I think in the 14th, 15th century by Walter Comyn of Ruthven, just outside Cairngorms, who had been travelling near Blair Athol, and he kind of liked the ale that was served in the pub in Blair Athol. So he ordered a path to be built between Athol and Ruthven near Cairngorms, and it was a path for ale carts, if you like, wagons carrying great flasks of ale. Kind of puts you in mind of a lot of the very rich people these days and the things that they do for convenience. But yeah, that's something else. But it's a wild, remote part of the Cairngorms National Park. And this new track that the state has put in, I think is going to be really, really popular with mountain bikers. It's not technical, it's not hard. There's no great big hills or single track or anything like that. But it just, for the very fact it brings you into this lovely countryside, I think it's going to be a real winner. It's a steep old ride down into Glen Feshie, one of my favourite glens in the Highlands. For many years the estate here was run primarily for deer stalking, and there were simply too many deer to the detriment of the woodlands and the forests. Today, under an enlightened ownership, deer numbers are kept to sustainable numbers, and the benefits are plain to see. There's new growth everywhere, which of course is not only good for us, but it's great for wildlife. This is rewilding in action. Well, that's it, our bike ride around Glen Tromie and Glen Feshie in the Cairngorms National Park. I hope you enjoyed the bike ride. I certainly did. It's probably about 22, 23 miles. Is it the best bike ride in the Cairngorms National Park? I'll let you decide. Come and try it. Come and have a go at it. And don't forget that special offer from Readly. That's 2 months free subscription, and you can pull out at any time. And if you do that, you can check the magazines for the wee write-up that I've done of this route. How about that? So there you go, that's it until the next time. If you've enjoyed this video, please think about subscribing. It's really helpful, and give us a like, and we'll see you next time. So stay safe, enjoy the outdoors, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.